And our next presenter this evening, Mr. Dave Jones, please.
Try to keep quick if I can. George Paidas was born and grew up in Warren, Ohio. George was a graduate from Mount Union College, where he majored in math. He earned a master's degree from Western Washington University in Bellingham, Washington, and a law degree from the University of Akron. George came to Medina as a teacher in the Medina City School District. He taught math, coached football, basketball, baseball, and was Medina High School's first varsity girls basketball. George was hired by the old Phoenix National Bank in the trust department, moved from there to the president and CEO of Old Phoenix Bank, and the regional president of First Merit Bank. I'd like to point out that during this time, Ted Coleman was on the board of directors and was one of George's bosses. First Merit Bank transferred George to Akron, where he served as head of the Wealth Management Division and senior executive vice president of First Merit Banking Corporation until he retired. George's career in banking led him to being chairman of the Ohio Bankers League and involvement in the American Bankers Association Governmental Relations Committee. He's still active in the Ohio Bankers League, where he helped create and is now the sole facilitator of Bank Leadership Institute in Columbus. As a matter of fact, I remember going down with George to the Ohio Bankers Association, and they never had a trust school. And George started that school, taught it, and still remains active in it. George found time to be active in the community. He served in the Medina City Planning Commission and was on a couple of Medina City Charter Review commissions. He is a leadership Medina County founding board member, a graduate of first class, and past chairman of the board. He's returned to help lead opening retreats for both leadership signature class and junior leadership. George is a past president of the Medina Kiwanis Club and the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. He was chairman of the board of the Medina Economic Development Corporation for 2 terms, and for 9 years co-chair of the Medina County University Center Task Force that brought the first brick-and-mortar university to Medina County. George served as a trustee for Medina County Schools Foundation. It was and a founding trustee of the Highland School Foundation. It was a trustee and executive committee member of the University of Akron Foundation. For his work in these areas, George was honored with the 2012 Leadership Medina County Excellence and Medina County Leadership Award. George's leadership experience as an instructor, lecturer, personal coach has led him to start his own company, Ambrose. He continues to do leadership development work with several banks in Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. On a personal note, George currently sings with 3 groups, has taught courses in the Institute of Learning in retirement at Baldwin Wallace University, earned a master's gardener's designation, completed a year-long Ohio State naturalist program in Cowger Valley National Park, and he plays duplicate bridge and golf. He is also father of 3 daughters, Stephanie, Emily, and Shannon, who's here tonight, and 3 grandchildren, ages 5, 3, and 10 months. That's what I have been told to give. Now I am a person. The bank had a major problem back in the 70s, and we needed somebody to run our trust department. Because trust departments mostly dealt with the bar associated in Medina County, we felt one of the criteria that we needed was to have someone who was a member of the bar, an attorney. We looked and looked and looked, and we couldn't find that right person. Trust departments are composed of people who have been successful in other lines of business, We want to continue what they have accumulated for the benefit of the grandchildren or some other charitable thing. And the bank manages money for them and tries to fulfill their wishes. We need someone who had skills in communicating with other people. And we've really almost exhausted ourselves. So someone says, you know, there's a teacher here in Medina that's been in law school, and I think he's almost done. So we went out, we found George, and we interviewed him, and geez, you know, he looked like he fit the bill. He'd never taken a course in the States, for estate planning, but he felt that the guy had an interest in learning more. Well, we played golf with him. George hauled out his pair of Voight golf clubs. No one's ever heard of Voight golf clubs. They make ski equipment. He gracefully let me win. I knew the guy had some polish, so he could get by with other people. He became a member of our group, and we never, he's just part of the family. George and I were involved regularly in going down to Columbus. We had our bank merged with 4 other national banks trying to form a holding company that we would own instead of a holding company holding us. So we went with the Wayne County National Bank, First Knox National Bank in Mount Vernon, First National Bank of Hamilton in Ohio, and Mid-American Bank in Bowling Green. The 5 of our banks formed a holding company enterprise down in Columbus. So we had to go down there at least once a month, plus we were involved in the Ohio Bank. So George and I went down to 71 to Columbus. If you've ever done that, you realize what a boring job that's. But George, the free spirit he is, said, let's just start going north. Let's just find the first road we can find and head out that way. Well, from then on, we started doing that. We would just go out in the country and find a road that was going north. And we kept kind of aiming towards there. We went through towns like, we went through Blooming Grove, Ohio. Anybody ever heard of Blooming Grove? One of our parents in the United States was born there. But there are probably 500 people there. But we just had more good experiences bearing our souls with each other, talking, and we became very, very close friends. I can't tell you how honored I am to present a dear friend, a colleague, George Paidas, for the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, David. The family theme is something I wanted to take off on, so I'm glad that David mentioned it. First, I want to thank my family for being here. Thank all of you for being here. And the feeling I had at the cocktail hour was that I'm back with extended family. I have been just kind of blown away by the evening. It's very easy to just kind of sink into your own world and have some memories of folks that are kind of vague. And this evening, in having a chance to see so many of you and hug a number of you and share some stories and share a lot of smiles, it has brought back that feeling of family. And so I'm doubly grateful for this evening, not just for the honor that's being bestowed on me and these other folks. By the way, congratulations to all of you, but also for the opportunity to be with you. Tad, especially I want to thank you for your wonderful diatribe. You single-handedly erased a deliberate debt in one evening. I congratulate you. I wanted to go back a little bit and talk about the chamber itself. My experience with the chamber. It sort of began with Gene Morris, when Gene was the executive director. Gene said something to me about Medina, and I have had that same sense ever since he mentioned it. He was coming from Roanoke, Virginia, and he characterized this community, because he was fairly new to it, as one that surprised him. It was remarkable in the sense that there were so many people so willing to give of their time, of their energy, of their friendship, that kind of thing. It characterized the Medina he was experiencing. that has been my experience as well. Ever since Gene put it out there, I have noticed that that is really what helps make us special. Medina is not special by virtue of accidents. I could stand up here for 20 minutes and cite people who have done remarkable things in this community. And many of them are in this room, but it is a community that takes wonderful pride in itself, not in a prideful way. It's just a community that gives and relates to one another. Which takes me to a second point, and that's that back in those days, it was a divided county, or at least it felt like it was a divided county. You had Wadsworth, which had annexed itself to Akron. You had Brunswick, which was a suburb of Cleveland. You had Medina, which was sitting here by itself, and the rest was the hinterlands. And never any of those twains met, it seemed. And then a strange thing happened, and leadership of Medina County came into existence. And I don't know how many of you really believe that that made a difference, but I'm here to tell you that from my perspective, things have evolved enormously well. And I give a lot of the credit to the fact that leadership of Medina County was the bringing together of people from these different places. When you bring people together in a common cause and they become humanized as opposed to they versus us, some magical things happen. And I now feel like we live in a county that really doesn't feel quite that way anymore. It is now, in my opinion, Medina County as opposed to those various pieces. But the last thing I want to talk about is this guy, the guy that introduced me. David has been a remarkable role model. I've been blessed to have role models in my life, from David Brewer, who was a teacher at Medina High School. I don't know how many of you guys remember him, but David was remarkable. He was responsible for my understanding that a teacher could be a lot more than just somebody who went up there and gave rote recitation. David put his heart into what he did. But David Jones, became my role model when I joined the bank. And David said to me, and then he lived it. The reason I was going to Columbus with him is because of this, that when you are a banker, you have several responsibilities. One of those is tend to the business, but a second one is tend to the community. You are a reflection of the community. The health of the bank and the health of the community are intertwined, and it's your obligation to be a leader in the community. And the third thing he said was, you're part of an industry, and the same thing holds there. You, as a banker at Old Phoenix, you are expected to be active in the state association, which is what kind of sets the mood, does the legislative work for all of banking. And that was such an enormously broadening experience for me to have that kind of perspective on things. I now do a lot of leadership work, and the leadership work that I do seeks to incorporate some of that kind of stuff, seeks to show people that there is more to leadership than just management, that as leaders we are influential in a lot of different ways, and that we need to be out there doing our thing and being the best us that we can be in so many aspects of our lives. To go full circle, it brings me back to you guys. When I'm here tonight, I'm reminded of how wonderful it has been to be a part of this particular community, and I'm very, very grateful for you. Thank you.